YB's, we back.
Woo!
Hey, another week, another diversity deep dive with me, Angie Hambrick. I'm the Associate Vice President of Diversity, Justice, and Sustainability, and the Interim Director of the Center for Gender Equity.
I am Jen Smith. I am the Dean of Inclusive Excellence at PLU, and I am tentatively an Associate Professor in Gender, Sexuality, and Race.
I am Jennifer Maliska-Warwick. I'm a PLU alum, I'm a former PLU employee, and now I'm a clinical social worker in private practice.
She just introduced herself. She didn't give us a chance to say, and
oh, sorry. There was a pause. I just took over.
And welcome. Who are you? You just jumped right in. That's cool. Just jump
we
right
can
in.
edit this, right?
Yeah, but we tend not to because we are that smooth with it.
Yeah.
We don't do a lot of editing. Ask our producer. Two names. So, I mean, another week, we got, like 3 more shows left, Jen Smith.
Yeah, we do. We're close.
Yep, we're excited that our second guest is Jennifer to talk about, some things about uncertainty.
Yeah.
But before we do all that, Jennifer, Jen, who you want to be today? Are you Jen?
I want to be Jen. I'm always Jen. Come on.
I never call you Jen.
Okay. Well, I'm Jen today. You do that sometimes in the late nights.
Stop airing our pillow talk to the world. So what you been up to, Jen?
I am growing gray/white hair. I don't know if y'all can see it. I have this stripe going down the center of my head. I look like, for those of you who are a little older, or let's say seasoned, the Gremlins, the evil gremlin that had I think they called him Spike?
Stripe.
He had the white stripe, hence stripe. That's what I got going on right here. So yeah, I'm growing white, gray hair. That's what I'm up to these days.
Embrace it.
What you gonna do? So yeah. What you been doing, Angie?
I think it was just last week that I gave my weeds an honorable, dishonorable mention. I think I had a lot of mixed feelings about them. I wanted, I'm annoyed by them, but I also want to let them be because tis their world. But today I got an estimate for yard repair maintenance right?
Ooh, that's bougie. Just saying.
Yeah. I'm in this house like 7 years and have never had anybody do anything to my yard, which you would know if you've ever been here before.
Excuse me, I want a correction.
I know.
I have been in your yard and I have worked in your yard for a full day. So this statement that you've been here 7 years and no one's done anything to your yard, that is false, and that erases the labor that was put into your yard.
As soon as I said it, I said, oh, that's incorrect.
Yeah.
But yes, I don't want to erase the labor that was done by Black and brown bodies, and I guess this one white body who did something to you a couple years back. So the first time a professional person came in to do things to my yard. So I'm actually really, really excited about it.
That's exciting.
Yeah, we're supposed to get it done this week. So this weekend, when it's like 85 degrees, we can actually be in a pretty nice yard. So
that's nice.
Come social distance with us.
Let's do it. I'm down.
What you been doing, Jennifer?
Well, I too have been growing things like you both. I'm working on my temples. I don't know if you can see them, but that's where my gray hairs are coming in. Pretty significant.
Oh, yeah.
And apparently, taller people in my life has told me, like, way back here, it's getting gray. I have no idea. You never see that, but taller people do. So we're going to work on that. I also am doing a lot of yard work. I have a couple garden beds going, and I'm fighting with some bunnies to keep them out. I think I'm going to have to grow like a sacrificial garden for them.
Nice.
But that keeps me busy feeding crows and ducks, and it's like Snow White. I feel like Snow White when I walk out, except without the music and the helpfulness of the animals.
And shit, huh? Okay. You still have your chickens?
Can't talk about that. There's some trauma surrounding that.
Is there trauma in that? Oh, I'm sorry. Trauma in foreign practice.
Well, let's say one we don't speak about. The other one lives with a neighbor and wears diapers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
I feel like you're going to say that about me one day. She lives with a neighbor and wears diapers. Yeah.
You know what chicken diapers look like?
What?
Face masks. It's the same thing. Little face goes over their butt, like this is their butt, and this goes over their legs. That's exactly what
That's why we don't have enough PPE, because chickens have them on their butts.
Exactly. So.
Okay. Yeah. You learn something new every day, people. Look at this. We're educating.
You do. There's no clean way to go into this conversation about uncertainty. Usually we do okay with the transition, but not today. No. That's fine.
Are we uncertain about how this is going to go?
No, shit is uncertain.
We might be. Yep.
But so let's talk about it. So especially Jen Smith and I work at Pacific Lutheran University, and Jennifer has her own private practice. So as we're going into kind of the summer months, our semesters are ending, students, faculty, staff, everyone in the university setting and other settings as well are kind of wondering what is going to happen next, like what's next. And, you know, the governor has put together his phase plans, and there's, you know, coalitions of states doing things, but we still don't know what is going to happen. And so let's talk about what does it mean and how does it feel to live in this time of so much uncertainty? Like, what are the feelings and the emotions and the thoughts that are coming up to y'all as we're moving into the month of May?
Ugh. Now we're quiet. Yeah. Of course, I've been thinking about this because it's the topic for this week. I feel like I've generally been rolling okay with the uncertainty, in part because I try to sort of take a day at a time and sort of zero in on what it is that I'm kind of accomplishing. And I also know that part of my ability to do that is because I have security in terms of my home, I have security in terms of food, general security in terms of income. And so like major forms of uncertainty, I know that I'll be working at PLU in the fall. I'm privileged enough not to have those really significant kinds of uncertainties. So I'm able to hold a schedule that's pretty regular. So, I mean, I just honestly have to say, I'm not feeling it a ton right now. I mean, I think I was at the beginning when the schedule was really disrupted, but I've been able to maintain a schedule that works. And so right now I'm feeling fairly okay. I think initially I just felt very aimless when I was, when the schedule was upended and things were really uncertain. So I had a hard time concentrating. I would carb load and eat a lot. But because again, I was looking for things that were familiar, so I watched the same show over and over again. But yeah, those are some of the things I think I've been feeling in terms of uncertainty. What about you, Jennifer?
Similar path, really. It's kind of funny. One of the questions that was a prompt was kind of what were you expecting of this time and what's changed? And really, you know, when I was, last fall, I was sort of thinking ahead to spring. I'm in a new home, so new house projects. This year, I'm not doing anything on the academic schedule. I'm not teaching. I'm not working at the university, so my spring looks very different. And I really was just going to kind of focus on, puttering around my home and being social and reconnecting with people that I haven't over the past couple of years because I've been so busy. And lo and behold, the world has offered me a great opportunity for that. So, my spring has pretty much turned out like the things that I was hoping to do this spring are getting accomplished. The circumstance under which I'm doing them blows. But but I'm with you, I think even though I kind of, was looking for a pretty low key spring, there's just so much, there's a lot of worries out there that are really valid for folks on many levels, health and finances and housing and food. And like Jen, I'm privileged where that's not really on the forefront of my first uncertainties and my first anxieties. It's sort of, for me, I have a job right now. My partner has a job. Our kids are healthy. They're doing their school. It's more of the where's this going to go? Where are we going to be in 2 months or 6 months or a year or 10 years even? That's kind of where my head spins a lot, because we have no control over what happens in 2 years or 6 months or any of those time frames. So I've been trying to practice, and I was going to, share some of the ways I've reset my mind, and I'm helping some of my clients maybe reset their mind around those what ifs and the unknown that's out there.
What about you, Angie? How are you dealing with the unsettling?
Oh, I guess it's the same as you all, that I feel a small sense of some security that I'm pretty sure I'm going to have a job, at least through the summer, into the fall. I have healthcare because I have this job. The daycare that my son goes to is open, which a lot of folks don't have kind of access to childcare or their kids being in school. So I'm able to send my kid to daycare a couple days a week. That allows me to be able to do my work and just to kind of live as well. And so I think I've been kind of okay with it. I think one of the traits that I have that kind of helps me kind of deal with some of the uncertainty is I'm really spontaneous. What is, how you say it? Spontaneous. What is it?
Spontaneity?
Yeah. Or I'm spontaneous. And I like to do things on a whim. I like to have adventure. And so things for me don't have to be planned in order for me to feel a sense of security. I actually feel less secure when things are really planned out, because I like the flexibility, and not to equate like me going on a trip with no plans to a pandemic and people's real fears of how they're going to eat and put food on the table and survive. But I think that has been one of the ways for me that I've been kind of able to pivot with the things that I thought were going to be true and thought were going to happen these past couple of months that have had some impact on me. And I've been able to pivot a little bit more easily because of just the spontaneity and the adventure that I thrive on. So
everything you're saying about playing it by ear and having no plans and it will be what it is, like, makes me really cringy, because I am not like that. And I know Jen long enough to know that she is not like that either.
Yeah.
I don't want to speak for you, but I like my plans. I like my routine. I like my structure. I like to know what to expect. So I would not be spontaneous. Nobody would define me as that. However, this is a good exercise in that, in being able to just be in the moment, be present, like you both talked about, being grateful for what you do have right now, and practicing some of that flexibility. I feel like every day, especially I think through March, every day we were kind of being asked to understand new knowledge or practice new behaviors or have a new mindset, and it felt like the rules were changing and the norms were changing all the time, and that's hard for people who like to know what the rules are and the right thing to do. But I think I've definitely grown in that area.
Yeah. What are some of the things, like when you tell your clients who are experiencing a significant amount of anxiety around uncertainty, like I'm trying to think of like tips that you share with them, that you can share with our audience and us as well, about how to manage? Because I'm thinking for our especially our students who are graduating in a few weeks, they are moving into an unknown time, and it was always going to be a moment of anxiety anyway, moving out from a 4 years where they had a schedule and knew where they're living and so on and so forth, at least most of them, into who knows what is happening after May 23rd when they graduate. So what are some pieces of advice you might offer folks? And sorry for the motorcycle that's outside my house. My windows are closed, but things loud.
I mean, you touched on one, just recognizing that we have uncertainty in our lives all the time. Like, every day is somewhat uncertain. Our futures are uncertain. We deal with uncertainties all the time and roll with it, make decisions within it, survive through it. This is not a new thing. It's a bigger thing maybe for us, and a more prevalent thing. For me and for some of my clients, one of the things that has sort of grounded us is the fact that we are all uncertain. Everybody. I watch a movie and I'm like, Jamie Foxx is uncertain. Or I watch a cartoon and I'm like, well, not a cartoon, like a commercial. And I'm like, the Geico guy is uncertain. Well, that's a lizard. He probably is totally cool. But you know what I mean? Like, that person there who is not in my sphere is uncertain too. We are all going through the same thing. And while I wouldn't wish that on our world, we are. And that, I don't know, that brings a little bit of, I'm not alone, right? It's not like everybody else has this figured out and I'm left behind. We're all kind of in this together and can lean into each other. And, Angie pointing out that you're much more spontaneous and flexible than I am, knowing kind of where we're at, what is our tolerance for uncertainty, and kind of owning it, right? I have a hard time without rules and structure. And then leaning into the people, maybe like you, Angie, who do feel a little more comfortable in that, and letting them support you, and vice versa. Some people who are more spontaneous and less concerned about the uncertainty feel a little, and my clients kind of feel a little out of control with that, of there are no rules. So kind of grounding them into, what do we know today? What can we do today? So, you know, there's a lot of different grounding activities we could do. Gratitude, like we talked about before, of what do I know that I have? What am I grateful for? What's in my life right now? Can really keep people in the present. And I think one of the biggest things that, you know, I've shared with my clients that has really helped me is uncertainty. You know, the reason that it's so uncomfortable is because it provokes, you know, fear and anxiety. Like, we don't know what's going to happen. Our mind, to keep us safe, goes to that anxious place of, you know, fear, threat, what's going on, so we can prepare ourselves, right? We think about what's the worst thing that could happen, or what's the terrible thing, or what's the disaster, so we feel somewhat prepared. It's a natural survival instinct. But that doesn't leave the space for us to act, well, what could go well, right? What could go good? What could go great from this, right? So if we allow both, we're not going to get rid of the uncertainty and the anxiety, but if we can pause for a moment and go, what might come out of this, right? What's going well? What might go well in the future? And I've seen a lot of things like on Facebook where, you know, people are kind of saying, what are you going to take with you from this? You know, what's the positive outcome that's going to come from this in the future? You know, whether it's cleaner air or, you know, whatever that is, more connection with family. We have that choice to build that now so we can take that forward. And that's not a thought that's grounded in fear. That's kind of grounded in hope and growth. But that's easy to push aside when we're really focused on the danger that's out there. So being curious instead of just fearful.
Okay, so as you were talking, Jennifer, it made me think about what might I take with me from this situation, besides my hip that hurts because I'm sitting on my butt all the time. My hip does hurt. I think one thing I hope to take from this is the idea of imagining otherwise. This is a concept that we talk a lot about in some of my theory classes, is we can't sort of think about what change is unless we can imagine the world otherwise than what it is now. And it's a really difficult exercise, actually, which this pandemic has invited many of us to do because it's disrupted so many things that we have thought were really stable. And so I think what I'll take with me is the idea of imagining otherwise and not believing that things are the way they are forever, which is, again, simultaneously scary, but I also think it's an opportunity. Yeah. So do either of you have something that you think you might take with you?
I think it's similar. I think it's possibility and possibilities, that there are multiple paths to get somewhere, and the path that we've been on is not very equal or equitable.
Yeah.
And we have an opportunity to explore different possibilities to make it better for folks. And even on like smaller scale, like sometimes let's not change the world, but let's just think about the possibilities that I have for myself as a mom, an educator, just a person. So I can bake cookies. That I've never taken that road of possibility before in my life.
I want you to bake some cookies.
I'm not. And I make Play-Doh from flour and salt. So, you know, like thinking about the things that I can do in my home for myself that I've never thought of before. So pulling in some creativity that I didn't know I had is something that I'll take.
We change the world by changing ourselves. That is a famous quote. I don't know who said it, so I'm plagiarizing. Sorry, Sarah.
Who said it?
Sarah. But yeah, you change yourself, you make Play-Doh, you make cookies. Yeah. So, yeah. What about you, Jennifer? A quick one.
I'm never quick. Self-compassion. Realizing I don't need the things I think I need. I don't need Target, and I don't need to go out to the Mexican restaurant. I don't need to do the things that I think that I needed in my life in order to kind of feel good. I can focus on being compassionate with myself, taking care of myself. Everything I need is within me, which is also probably a famous quote somewhere. If not, it's mine. But it's kind of simplifying. And yeah.
All right, we got this is gonna be a quick one. We're closing with our honorable and dishonorable mentions. This is gonna be a quick fire. All right, let's start with honorable mentions. Angie, who do you want to give shout outs to this week?
This heifer I know named Dr. Jennifer Smith, who has been recommended for rank and tenure at Pacific Lutheran University. What? You work bad. EITCHU. You have to go through like another 2 processes, but try it. Just try it. look at the camera, try it. So congratulations on your tenure and promotion.
Thank you. All right, settle down. What about you, J-Dub? Or say J-Ma?
For the same thing for you.
Oh.
You are amazing. I've known you for such a long time, as has Angie. And if there was ever anything I was absolutely certain about, it was that this was gonna happen for you. There was never a doubt in my mind, you know. And I've told you before, I wrote a letter for you, and I felt like I could just put like me going like this as testament to how amazing you are, because everybody knows it. It felt silly to have to prove it. You totally deserve this, and the university is better off because of you.
Okay, settle down. Thank you. It's fine. Okay, thank you. That's very nice. My honorable mention this week is all those who mother. Mother's Day is this Sunday. And so shout out to everybody who cares for beings and does that work. And apart from gender, anybody who mothers, that's my shout out for the week. All right, our favorite part, dishonorable mentions. Who are we throwing shade to this week? Let's start with you, Jennifer.
Murder bees. I just found out all week long I was laughing about murder bees like it was some joke, like Sharknado type thing. I just found out like moments ago it is a real thing, and it is like a really bad thing. And I just think it's awful. And I'm so mad at those little hornets for doing what they do. And I definitely probably need more research in what is actually happening there.
Yeah.
Murder bees.
Yeah. All right.
Racism. That's it.
That's your...
Suck it. Yep. That's my dishonorable mention.
Great. Awesome. Thanks. My dishonorable mention is Mother's Day, which might seem counterintuitive, but Mother's Day has become a tool of neoliberalism, where we can take a day to buy tokens and trinkets for people who are deemed mothers and ignore the structural inequity that is built into our system that does not provide daycare, does not provide paid maternity leave, and does not provide actual real material support for people who mother. So, suck it, Mother's Day.
Suck it.
Suck it.
Mm-hmm. That's it, y'all. Thank you, Jennifer Maliska-Warwick, for joining us. We will always shout out to our producer, Thomas Two Names, and Lace Up and Marcom. Thank you, and we'll see y'all next week.
Bye.
Bye.